I think the most important thing that probably we talked about here is that the sport has work to do, but the people in it can do it, and they have the power to do it, and they have the power to change, make real positive change for the future for so many people. And I hope to see it, because hockey is the best sport in the world, in my opinion, and would love to see it evolve into something that really takes hold for people. I'm Jayna Hefford. First and foremost, I'm a mom. I've got 2 daughters and a son. I'm a former Olympic hockey player with the Canadian national team. I currently lead the day-to-day operations of the Professional Women's Hockey Players Association.
Very cool. And you've had an illustrious career and accomplished so much. How did Jayna get into hockey?
So I grew up in Kingston, Ontario, known as a hockey town. I had parents who loved the game. Saturday night was hockey night in Canada in our house. I have an older brother who also played the game. And as long as I can remember, I had a passion for it that was just, in my mind, it was innate. I don't even remember the moment I started enjoying the game, but anytime I could be on the ice, play road hockey, play hotel hockey, hockey tournaments, all that sort of stuff, I've always just loved the game, and didn't appreciate at the time how supportive my family was, of a young girl doing something that was certainly not the most common path for a young girl. But looking back on it now, realizing the importance of them allowing me to just follow my passion and support it. I never felt like I was doing something I shouldn't do. And so their passion for the game combined with my passion for the game allowed me to really, explore that and chase my dreams.
So true. And I think a lot of the time we don't recognize in the moment how much hockey parents, do for us as players. And it sounds like you had that stereotypical Canadian story, right? On the ice and on the street every day playing hockey. Yeah, exactly. What do you love about hockey?
Oh, I love the way I feel when I'm on the ice. I love the competition. I love the speed of the game. I love the skill of the game. It's always been a place that I've just felt probably more like myself than anywhere else. That passion that's just always been a part of me for the sport. And then, of course, you move through your experiences in the game, and you meet people and develop friendships from the game. And so I don't know, like I said, I think that's where I've always been most comfortable is playing the game or on the ice.
That really resonates with me. I think the only time when I was really struggling with my sexuality that I didn't feel it was when I was on the ice. So I appreciate that. Nothing else mattered once you were on the ice. That said, based off your intersection of identities and how could hockey be better for you and also for the queer community as a whole?
I think hockey could be better if it recognized that diversity could be our strength. I feel like hockey's been such a big part of my life. I think it's a real cultural thing for us as Canadians. I think about the lessons I've learned, the character I've developed through the game. And I want hockey to be healthy for years to come. I want it to be a sport that everyone can be a part of because I see the value in it. But it can't just be about, white male players. I think if we recognized our strength would be in, broadening our base and getting more people involved, making everyone feel like it's a place that they can go and be themselves. We talk about as us being kids and being comfortable on the ice. If every kid could feel that, I think hockey would be better.
Yeah, and it's almost that, like if you look at that Carl Nassib who came out recently in the NFL, I mean, he's a good football player, but he's not Tom Brady or Mahomes or any of these guys. And yet his jersey's been the most sold jersey in the past week and continues to, skyrocket. And it's like if people recognized on a number of fronts that diversity would be a strength, and the more people we had playing the game, the better the game would be, but also the fandom would grow, and we would also, those pink dollars, they're there. Yeah. And you sort of answered this, but I'm going to ask anyway. In knowing where it's at, what keeps you in the sport?
I think it's two things. I think, one, that we touched on, that passion for the sport that I've always had. I love watching the game. I love playing the game. I think it's the best sport in the world, the speed, the passion, the skill it takes to play on the ice. But secondly, and more importantly, probably is the people. And although, we find ways there's ways that the game can be better, the people in the game that I've met have been great people. The majority of them. And I have so many lasting friendships from the game, people that I still meet every day that want to support what we're doing with the PWHPA, or just have a story to tell or a memory to share. So I think it's the people involved in the sport that I love being around, and love meeting new people that have a passion for the game.
And that's so true. And I say, even like when I'm asked about hockey, and I'm fairly critical of hockey and its culture, but I genuinely believe that the people are good.
Mm-hmm.
And that we just have to show them that these are things they need to rally around. Mm-hmm. And they will. Mm-hmm. They have with so many other aspects of society. So I think they will. I think you're spot on there. What gives you hope for queer people in the sport?
I think a few things. One, I think people are feeling more comfortable sharing their truth. I mean, we're obviously not where we need to be, but there's more and more people that feel like they can share their truth. And that gives me optimism. And the second thing is, I think, the next generation. And I look at the way my kids are being raised, the things they're learning in school, that is different. And I think the next generation, of whether they be athletes or fans of the game, will have different expectations of us as a society. They are going to expect equality in many different ways. They're not going to see gender as a barrier. And that's probably what gives me the most hope. My kids don't see any of that yet. Occasionally it pops in because they see something on the news or they hear someone say something. But overall, I think the way they're being brought up, not just by, us as their family, but as, in their classes and their t-shirt and the schools, what they're focusing on, it's different. And as I said previously, I think if hockey wants to continue to evolve, it's going to have to evolve with society. And these next generation of kids growing up to be fans and athletes are going to expect big things of sports that they want to support, and really any initiative they want to support.
I love that. And it's so true. You see it even, like, I interviewed some people who were like 15 or 16 years old, and they're already living as queer. And it makes me so hopeful and optimistic,
Mm-hmm.
Jayna,
Come home and tell me about Indigenous Peoples Day, or they talk about Pride Month. Those are things, I never would have known as a kid. And my kids are young. They're like in kindergarten and grade 2, right? So they're growing up with it. Like, this is something we celebrate, and they celebrate.
I know I didn't learn about residential schools growing up. Mm-hmm. And all the knowledge that they're gaining at such a young age, it will shift the world. Knowledge is power.
Yeah, absolutely.
Jayna, is there anything you'd like to add?
No, just congrats to you on highlighting this. And I think the most important thing that probably we talked about here is that the sport has work to do, but the people in it can do it, and they have the power to do it, and they have the power to change, make real positive change for the future for so many people. And I hope to see it, because hockey is the best sport in the world, in my opinion, and would love to see it evolve into something that really takes hold for people.
Thank you so much, Jayna. And I got to tell you, you give me hope. People like you who have lived their truth and been unapologetically themselves, and are role models for so many, and will continue to be. So I'm incredibly grateful to you.
Awesome. Appreciate it, Brock. Keep doing what you're doing.